Hi, hello, my name is Tyler. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this reading vlog. I am going to be reading All the Lies They Did Not Tell, The True Story of Satanic Panic in an Italian Community by Pablo Trincia. That's Italian, probably pronounced it wrong. So this is a July Amazon Prime first read book. And I thought I would take y'all along with me as I read it and give you my thoughts and feelings on it, and I can get it up before the month of July is over. So if it ends up being good, you can pick it up if you want to, or you can pass if it sounds like something you're not interested in, you don't want to waste your free read on this, or maybe I just don't think it's good and can tell you maybe to steer away from it. So this is a first read. There are no reviews up on it yet, so I genuinely don't know if this is going to be a good book or not. I also don't know anything about this story. I will say I have read a lot of true crime in the past. I consumed a lot of true crime content in general in my life. I have been cutting back in the last couple years, just for various reasons that I've talked about in some of my other videos. However, this sounded interesting. It sounded like it would be more than just like telling me a terrible story and how the cops solved the problem, came to the rescue, and could offer some interesting information. I'm also pretty interested in the Satanic Panic. I haven't done like a ton of reading about the Satanic Panic. However, I listened to You're Wrong About, which is a podcast, and Sarah Marshall has done a lot of research about the Satanic Panic and has talked about various cases related to the Satanic Panic that helped lay the groundwork for the Satanic Panic. I read Sybil a couple months ago, really liked that experience, and that kind of helped also foster an environment that led to the Satanic Panic. So that is what grabbed my attention with this book. Like I said, I haven't read a true crime book in years, so that may color my opinion about this book, so I thought I would put that in the beginning. But otherwise, yeah, I haven't started it yet, but I'm planning on starting it today. And once I get into it, I will do some updates and tell you what I'm thinking, what's interesting, what's not, yada 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 yada. So I'll see y'all when I have some thoughts to share. Bye. Hi, Tired Hat. How do you know? How do you know? I literally just started. Come on. Hi, it is the next day from when I filmed that intro clip. Yeah, I have a band-aid right here. I have a pimple and I'm trying to stop picking at it. So there's that. However, I was thinking about this video some more, and I realized in my usual reading vlogs, I typically get into spoilers, and I don't think I necessarily want to do that for this book. So we'll see how that goes. But I also realized that I did not give like the plot description, which I usually do when introducing books these days. So I thought I would come back and give the plot description. I did talk a little bit about like the Satanic Panic and stuff like that, but I did not give this particular book plot. The accusations, the suspicions, the devastating impact. This is the true story of the devils of Bassa Madanese. I'm not Italian. I don't speak Italian, so I probably butchered that. The most notorious Satanic Panic investigation in the history of Italy. In 1997, a 6-year-old boy questioned by authorities relayed disturbing stories of abuse. The more he talked, the more people were implicated in his shocking revelations. And he was only the first child to come forward. Within a year, 15 more children with similar tales were transferred out of the Bassa region of Italy to protected locations. Their parents were accused of belonging to a satanic sect that performed sex rituals under the Aegis, A-E-G-I-S, not sure what that word is, of beloved local priest Don Giorgio Gavani. Butchering names. With each child's confession, the network of monsters grew. Families were torn apart, lives were forever destroyed, and some ended as allegations of kidnapping, torture, sacrifice, and murder escalated beyond comprehension. But what really happened in Bassa Madanese? In this gripping account of the satanic panic of the 1990s, investigative journalist Pablo Trincia returns to the scene of the crimes to find the answer, and the truth he uncovers is as terrifying as the lies. So that's what the book is about. I read the first 10% last night. I will say I'm surprised at how short it is. It's like 240 some pages long, which is shorter than I would have anticipated for a book like this. And so far it's just kind of like setting up the scene. I think I'm about to get to like some confessions. But I'm enjoying it. I think it is translated, and so far I haven't had any issues. I have kind of talked about sometimes translated works can come off as really stilted to me. I'm not having that issue so far. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think it will be a quick and easy read if it continues kind of at the pace and with the readability of it that it has currently. And the author is kind of a character within it. It kind of started with explaining why he got interested in this story. So, you know, it's good so far. I will leave it at that, and I will do some more reading. Bye. Greetings. So I didn't actually do any check-ins while reading this book, mostly because one, it's pretty short, it's under 300 pages long, and two, I really didn't have many thoughts to share while reading. This book ended up being 3 stars. I literally just finished it, came downstairs to record my thoughts. So yeah, 3 stars for me. It wasn't bad. I have read some pretty bad prime first reads in my time. And I gotten to the point where I just like won't check them out if they don't seem like they're gonna be something I'm interested in. And as I've gotten less into thrillers, I have not picked them up as frequently. And I've gotten to the point where I like don't force myself to read them if I don't want to read them. So I'm rarely reading prime first reads. This one intrigued me, so that's why I picked it up and read it. However, I just really didn't get a lot out of this. It felt like a very long like article that I would read online from like, I don't know, Vice or something. Like it just didn't give me the depth I wanted, I guess. Being a person that like already kind of knows about like the satanic panic in America, this really didn't expand or teach me new things really. Like this is just like satanic panic, but it happened in the 90s in Italy. And you know, it's like a different cast of characters, but it's basically the same concepts. So yeah, like it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. It was easy enough to read. It just didn't give me like what I was wanting. So there's that. I will also say there are a ton of people in this. It's a very widespread conspiracy that goes on, not only in the children and families that were affected by the abuse, but also in terms of like the cast of professionals that played a part in this. And I have talked about on my channel before that I tend to not be great with names and lots of characters. So I definitely struggled with that. I'm not necessarily saying it was unclear, but for me it was difficult, and I was really wishing there was a list of characters, a list of people, like either at the front or the back of the book. I have definitely read nonfiction about crime in the past where they have like a list of, here are all the people involved in this story, and I feel like that would have been useful to me. The one that comes up off the top of my head, which isn't actually crime, but I'm pretty sure Into Thin Air has a list of all the hikers, mountaineers that were climbing Everest, so you could refer back. I think that would have been useful for me to kind of like break down, these children belong to these parents and they lived in this city or town, because it was over a like 2 towns, and like a lot of these families had like lots of kids, like 3-4 children. So trying to keep that all straight in my head was difficult for me. It might not be difficult for other readers. If you're like reading fantasy, that's probably not going to be an issue for you, but was an issue for me. Also at the end it mentions that this is like, there was a podcast about this case, and I feel like that kind of contributed to this feeling that this like kind of feels like an article and not a book to me, and that like maybe it would have been more enjoyable, more like coherent. Coherent's like not the word, like I understood what was happening, but like maybe they work together better than like the book just on its own. So I'd be intrigued to listen to the podcast, but I assume it's in Italian, because at the end there was like, oh, and all this stuff happened in 2021 that like is like fallout from people recognizing misdoings in this case, but like it was like just a couple paragraphs at the end, and I'm like, oh well, I want more of that that information, because this is like much more like, the first half of the book is like, this is what happened, and there's not like very much debunking or explaining concepts in that first half. It's like literally just like, this kid said this and families got separated, and then those kids said this and that had a knock-on effect for this family, and there's not any like digging into the story at that part. Like maybe there's like a little bit, but like not really. Like it's really just like, this is what happened, and then the back half is more like the journalist going and meeting the families and getting their side of the stories, trying to reach the kids who made false accusations, seeing what their side of the story is, and kind of looking into the organizations and kind of doing a little bit of debunking that way. So like, I don't know where I was going with this thought. I feel like that kind of just like didn't work very well for me personally. I kept highlighting things that were like red flags to me, but I feel like maybe I would have liked it a little bit more if like it was being debunked as the story was going on, but that's probably like a personal preference. I'm interested in the podcast, but like I said, I don't feel like this offered a lot of new knowledge to me besides like, now I know about this new specific case. So there's that. If you're like maybe interested in the Satanic Panic, maybe you would enjoy this. Like if you don't really know much about it and maybe like you're like, oh, what is the Satanic Panic? Maybe you would enjoy this as like kind of like a little primer, because like I said, it is pretty short. And then with it being like, this is the story and then this is the debunking in like the 2 parts basically, that might be good for a person who doesn't like already know what the red flags of like false memories are, and like the red flags of what mass hysteria panic is. So like maybe that would be useful to someone who is like wanting to maybe learn about the Satanic Panic. And there is a chapter in there that touches on the origins of the Satanic Panic in America, because it did come from America and it started in the 80s, and then it kind of hopped across the pond to England, I believe, in like the early 90s, and then like continental Europe in the late 90s, which is when this case was happening in Italy. So it might be useful to some people that are curious but don't know a bunch about the Satanic Panic already. However, like, I know there is an episode of You're Wrong About that is like specifically about the Satanic Panic, I'm pretty sure, because Sarah Marshall, at least at one time, was attempting to write a book about the Satanic Panic. I don't know if she's still actually doing that, but she's very interested in the Satanic Panic, and I know she did an episode kind of diving into it. And I feel like I watched a documentary about like maybe the McMartin preschool trial. Possibly, I'm not sure. And then there's the 3-part docu-series, Paradise Lost, which is like one of also like a very big Satanic Panic case in America. So I've consumed media about this before. Like I haven't quite read a book about it, but I know the basics, so this was just kind of basic for me. I wouldn't necessarily not recommend it to people, but those are my thoughts and feelings on the situation. So I hope this was helpful in you making a decision on whether or not this is the book you want to pick this month for a Prime read. Otherwise, I will see y'all next week. Bye!